welcome to Climate Check. Thank you so much for making time. I'm your host, Mary Mwiikisa. Now, today on the program, we discuss clean cooking alternatives. We know what charcoal has done to our forests. We know that the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment earlier in the year put a ban on the permits to produce and transport charcoal from Central Province. And this was in a bid to salvage our forests that are depleting at a faster rate in the quest for charcoal production because of the demand in the urban areas for this charcoal. And so to address that, there are some initiatives by various stakeholders to offer solutions to alternatives to charcoal cooking. And so on the program, we'll be talking to some organizations, and of course, this is USAID and other stakeholders who are fostering and pushing the agenda of alternative cooking methods other than charcoal. Also on the program, we'll be talking to the Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Honorable Mike Mposha, MP, who spoke to us about the rainfall forecast that he announced last Friday, and also various developments at the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. We'll take a short break. Now, imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi. Just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now, you are the solution to climate change. Welcome back to Climate Check, and right now I'm joined by the Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Honorable Mike Mposha, MP, who gives us an update on the rainfall forecast that he announced to the nation last Friday. And of course, he will simplify what it is that he read in that statement and also some of the developments at the ministry. Join me on the other side as I speak to him. This is Climate Check, and right now we're joined in studio by the Minister of Green Economy and Environment, Honorable Mike Mposha, MP. We are privileged to actually host him on the program for the first time since he moved to the Green Economy and Environment. Honorable Minister, it's a pleasure to have you on Climate Check.
Thank you, Mary, and I'm grateful that you invited me.
All right, now let's first understand how you've settled at the ministry.
I'm settled.
Okay.
With a good team,
yes.
And I think that has helped me to settle quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I can say the focus is not very different from where you were. Not too different.
Yeah, to the extent that the two ministries, work in collaboration. So it's a smooth switch.
It's a smooth switch.
Yeah.
Now, last Friday you announced the rain forecast to the nation, and every other sector now is keying into what she said in order to prepare, to respond, and to plan ahead. Give us in a layman's language what we expect this rain season.
All right. Yes, it's true, Mary, that on Friday last week we presented the 2024-2025 rainfall forecast, and the outcome of that is that most parts of the country will experience normal to above normal rainfall. So basically saying that we are going to have enough rainfall. Mm-hmm. Obviously, coming from 2023 to 2024 rainfall season, where we experienced a severe drought, I think that this is good news for all of us. It's good news for the farmers and different players that most parts of the country will experience enough rains. But also what came out of the 2024-2025 forecast is that some parts of the country will experience very few districts in the northeastern region will experience normal to below normal rainfall.
Okay.
So, but I think what is good about this forecast is that most parts of the country will have normal to above normal rainfall. So, like you said, in the layman's language, is just to say that this year we expect to have enough rains.
It will be enough. It will be a good season for the farmers.
It
in
will be
short,
a good season for the farmers who have inadequate rain, who have adequate rainfall in most parts of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the ministry and the fact that this data is from the meteorological department, how accurate is it, and why should the public pay attention to meteorological information?
Very good. Why the public must pay attention to the information coming from meteorological department is that it helps them to plan.
Okay.
It helps the government to plan in terms of input distribution, to know which areas will have adequate rains so that we can put in more resources and inputs in those areas, but also to prepare the farmers to begin their farming preparations in earnest, and also for them to begin to plan the purchases, the preparation of inputs. This is very, very important, and we want to say that this information has been passed on to different sectors, including agriculture officers, who then have to go to the farmers to explain in terms of when they should start planting. In terms of accuracy, I want to assure you, and through this program, The Nation, that the information is accurate. But suffice to say also that these are projections of what is likely to happen. Along the way, we could have some slight changes, because climate can change at any given point. But all things being equal, we expect that most parts of the country, covering western, central, copper belt, southern, a bit of eastern province, just below the northern region coming down to the south, will have normal to above normal rainfall.
Okay.
And it's important that we prepare to rebound our economy, considering the food insecurity that was caused by the severe drought. It's important that we prepare and plant as will be advised by the agriculture experts.
How do you maintain, or how do you plan to maintain meteorological services to enhance forecasting accuracy and early warning systems for us to be real accurate with our weather information?
A very good question. I think the issue of enhanced, weather or rainfall forecasts is very, very important. And for us as government, we are working around ensuring that we continue building capacity in our officers, so that data is collected in time, and it must be accurate, and thereafter it must be passed on to the users, again in good time, for purposes of early planning.
Okay.
So we are working on building capacity. We are also working in ensuring that we install modern, weather observing stations.
Okay.
And to that effect, we have moved to doing that in each and every district.
Okay.
And I'm happy that quite a good number of the districts, in excess to 100, have been now installed with modern weather monitoring stations.
Okay. Now, away from that, as a country, we are, I don't know if I can safely say, we are coming out of a terrible drought, of course, an El Nino-induced drought, and it affected several sectors, including the energy sector, Minister. And this meant that the country has been rendered energy deficient, which has led to load shedding. This means that the cooking alternatives now are shifting even to unsustainable methods like charcoal usage, which is widely used in this country. And I know that your ministry issued a ban on charcoal charcoal production in Central Province because of the massive deforestation that was going on there. What is the latest in this regard, especially with the charcoal ban, and also your word to the public regards the charcoal usage?
Okay, so before I say that, you are talking about energy insecurity. I know that, and all of us know that this severe drought that hit us in the 2023-2024 season affected food production, affected energy, affected water supply, among others. My advice, first of all, when it comes to the energy sector and to the people there, is that let us continue sustaining the messages and the point of actions that the government has been advising. We have been advising as government that we must ensure that we transition to solar energy for lighting. And I want to say that as much as this forecast is telling us that we are going to have enough rains this year, the amount of water we are going to receive in just one season will not be enough to restore the levels that we need in the Kariba, in the Kafue Gorge.
Okay.
We might need a lot more years, about 4 to 5 years of good rains in order to build up the levels that we need. What this suggests is that we must not become complacent and think that because the 2024-2025 rainfall season is indicating that we are going to have normal to above normal rainfall, therefore we must be complacent. No, let's continue with the measures that we have been putting in place to ensure that we reduce pressure on hydro dependence. I want to now. We banned the movement of charcoal, production of charcoal in the central region, as you indicated, because of the massive cutting down of trees in those areas. And really, in all the provinces, the issue is that anyone who wants to produce charcoal, the emphasis here is that they must apply for a permit and produce charcoal.
Okay.
But we want to appeal to our people that with all these severe effects of climate change, which is as a result of the massive cutting down of trees, we must be, all of us, sensitive to the fact that if we do nothing around this and continue cutting down trees, we are likely to have more inflicting effects of climate change, which will worsen the food security, which will worsen the water security, which will worsen the energy security. And it's important that we work together to ensure that we preserve the trees, and in areas where trees have been cut down, we must work with the Minister of Green Economy to plant trees. In terms of what alternatives do we have as we reduce the dependence on usage of charcoal? We are encouraging people, those that can afford, to transition to liquefied petroleum gas for cooking, which is LPG, but also we are promoting the cook stove, which is a new thing and affordable, and our experts will be going all around to ensure that the people in rural areas are educated about this, and we're going to roll out the cook stove, which is an affordable alternative, cooking method, as opposed to just depending on chaff and electricity. Okay.
Now, Minister, in the alternative cooking campaign that we are moving away from charcoal, are you working with any stakeholders to push this agenda to ensure that the mindset changes?
Yes, we are. We are working with a number of civil society organizations. We are working with different stakeholders, different sectors, including the Ministry of Energy, to roll out all these messages. But also we want to appeal for media houses, like we are doing through this program, Climate Check. We are able to disseminate this information, and I think that we want more media houses to come and work with us.
And lastly, Minister, talk to me about the climate change bill. Are we making any progress? Because we've had this conversation for quite a long time now, and the stakeholders are getting concerned.
No. I understand their concerns, and I want to thank you that you asked that question. I want to assure the stakeholders that they must not be worried anymore. I'm happy to mention that the draft bill has actually progressed.
Okay.
And as we speak, it has gone almost through all the stages of clearance and validation. What is just being awaited is to take it before cabinet, and I'm hoping that the next cabinet we should be able to push to get it there on the agenda. And once we get consent from cabinet, we should be able now to take it to Parliament.
Okay.
I'm happy that a lot of work has done. Initially, the bill was just focusing on climate change, but I'm happy to say that the bill now encompasses aspects of climate change and green economy. So even the name has changed from just climate change to climate change and green economy bill,
okay.
2024 bill.
And we hope it will be done before the year ends.
Definitely. That is my
we'll
hope.
Hold you to your word.
Please hold me to my word. And all things being equal,
yes.
we should get it as an act, as a law by before the end of the year.
This is Climate Check. We take a short break. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi. Just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Now, the El Nino-induced drought that the country has been experiencing led to, among many other issues, an energy deficiency in the country. And this, as a result, has led to demand for charcoal going up, especially in urban areas like Lusaka and many other cities across the country. And this trend is leading to a lot of deforestation in various parts of the country. And so in order to respond to the need for alternative cooking methods, we'll be speaking to some stakeholders from the USAID who are running a project that they're calling Alternative to Charcoal Cooking. And this is some sort of clean cooking that you and I should adopt. Let's learn more about it in the next interview.
Since 2021, the USAID has been supporting a project dubbed the USAID Alternatives to Charcoal, which is supporting alternative technologies and fuels to reduce charcoal use. Dr. Catherine Picard is the chief party for the USAID Alternatives to Charcoal project. She says this project is as a result of Zambia's concern of deforestation.
This project started in 2021. It's a 5-year project, so we'll continue through January of 2026. This project was born out of a concern of Zambia's deforestation rate. Zambia loses about 250,000 to 300,000 hectares every year, and about a quarter of that is associated with charcoal production. So there was a concern on the part of government about the increasing deforestation rate and what could be done. So USAID partnered with the government to help design a project that would not only reduce the amount of charcoal being used in the urban areas, but promote alternatives to charcoal.
Dr. Picard says there has been a mindset change since the start of the project.
Yes, I think it's important to say that what surprised me at the beginning was people wanted to switch. There's been no concern or effort to try and convince people. People really don't always want to use charcoal, but it's what's affordable, it's what's available. But if given the choice, people want to make a switch. They want to save time, they want to cook cleaner, less fumes. So there's been a huge demand for alternatives. The challenge for us is making them affordable and making them easily accessible. Just as easy as you can get charcoal, which, as you know, you can find charcoal very easily, and you can find it in small packages for small amounts of money. So we're trying to make charcoal both affordable and acceptable and accessible.
Mulea Siapwaya is the private sector assistant, and he runs us through different technologies that they are promoting aimed at reducing charcoal consumption.
We have different technologies that we are promoting as a project. Among them is LPG, we have biomass pellets, we have bioethanol, we have biogas, and efficient electric appliances. So just to speak to the benefits of LPG. So LPG, as I can demonstrate, cooks really fast because it doesn't need any heating time. Yeah, you don't need to wait for the plate. When we look at the conventional stoves, you don't need to wait for it to heat up. Immediately it produces the instant heat. Besides that, it's clean. As you can see, we're cooking indoors. We don't need to cook outside where the smoke is emitted and things like that. It doesn't produce any effluents that may be harmful to one's health. So that's that on LPG. We'll move to the next section, which is the biomass pellet. So the biomass pellet uses what we are calling or water pellets. These are pellets made from sawdust or agricultural waste. So as opposed to wasting agriculture waste just by maybe burning it in the fields, there are other companies that we are working with or that we are in collaboration with that are actually transforming the sawdust and the agricultural waste into wood pellets, which are used with the gasifier stove. So the gasifier stove is a clean cooking stove. The benefits of this stove that it has is it has an affordable fuel, which ranges in sizes. There are others that supply 20 kgs, others supply 5 kgs. And once you procure this stove, you are able to acquire the fuel from the various points across Lusaka that we have actually worked with the ATF providers to establish. The next one is a methanol stove. So this methanol stove actually uses methanol fuel. To make it, to actually use this fuel, one needs to open the hatch, just to demonstrate. So one would have to open the hatch and then pierce. It actually has something sharp within it. You pierce and then all the methanol flows into that. Then to light it, you need a lighter, which you light and then it starts cooking. So it also has an advantage in that it also has an adjustment for temperature compared to charcoal. Charcoal does not have that adjustment, but the methanol stove does have that adjustment. And then to turn it off, it's actually, you press a button, you press down on this metal knob, and then it goes off. The beauty of this, it's also fast in terms of cooking. It produces a blue heat, which is directed heat and centered, so there's no waiting time in terms of heating the food or whatever you may be cooking. So for the electric component that we had discussed as the appliances that we're promoting as a project, we have the electric pressure cooker and the induction cooker. So for the electric pressure cooker, it uses less power in terms of heating your food, and it cooks faster because the heat is confined within the pot. Yes, so it has a plate within it, and then within that that plate is the one that becomes red hot as you are cooking your foodstuff in this. For some electric pressure cookers, you are even able to bake. Then for the induction cooker as well, it's faster because the heat is more directed. It only targets the areas where the pot is sitting. So for this, it uses a particular type of pot, which are readily available in a lot of stores countrywide. And then it also has adjustments in terms of the temperature or the heat that you would want to actually target the pot, besides it looking fancy. Yeah. So these are the technologies that we are promoting as USAID alternatives to charcoal.
And the response from the general public has been overwhelming.
In the community, we do demos. And when we do demos, they see how these things work. They're interested in buying. And I can lightly say these things are working and they really want these products.
With the energy deficit the country is facing, there is need for citizens to adopt clean cooking solutions in order to discourage environmentally degrading sources of energy such as charcoal. Dominic Davis Chifumbe reporting.
And so the next time you want to use charcoal, try and think through many other alternatives that we have presented to you. These are affordable, these are accessible, and they are readily available in this country. So save our forests by switching and transitioning to clean energy, whether for lighting or for cooking. Thank you so much for watching Climate Check. I'll be back again next week, same time, same channel. I'm Mwiikisa. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.